Alright, we're back. What I did was these little fold lines, but what we were working on were the feet. Now I was going to show you up close here. Let's see if we can get this where it's nice and focused. There we go. Right in here, we're going to be cutting it in kind of deep. Alright, and a little bit at the bottom portion of it, her shoes. You're going to take the point of your knife and just kind of scoop it out. I know it's a very tight area because the coat doesn't go all the way down. You can make the coat go all the way down too if you want. I think the pattern that I'll have for you is going to have both, so you have a selection there. This black stuff is from sharpening the tool. Just to go over that real quick, the way I sharpen my tools is with a strop, which is just a piece of leather on a piece of wood on both sides, and I put a compound, usually blue velvet compound. It's a powder form, and you lay your knife down and you just take it across, away from the sharp end. Pull it across, okay? And I do about three times on each side, and then flip it over and do the other side. And then I take it to a cleaner portion of the leather, which I have over here. This is my longer one here. And then I just run it across a couple more times. And you want to try to keep that blade flat on your piece. I do this every so often. Whoops. I do this every so often to keep the knife nice and sharp. And that black residue that you saw there is just simply from the compound. So we'll get rid of that in a little bit here. But what we're going to do is we're just going to scoop that out on either side. And I may have to do this a little bit more when I'm offline so I can see what I'm doing. I can see pretty well from here, but it's so small. And then you want to do the top of the shoes the same way. You want to go up just like so. Alright, and now I'm going to round these shoes off just a tad. Just like so. Kind of meet it at the front there. And same thing here. We're just going to round this off. Now, I put that crazy glue on there before, and boy is that nice and tight. So if you have a piece that's very, very fragile and you happen to knock it off like I did earlier, just use that crazy glue. Works really well. Just don't get it on your hands or, you know, other places. So we're just going to round off her feet and her legs here a little bit, and then we're going to distinguish let's do one foot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. This is just going to go down a little ways. It's not really a boot, it's a shoe, so I'm going to go down like so, okay? Just like that. And this is the back of the shoe here. Alright? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow that with the tip of my knife. And I'm just going to cut it inward because the foot's going into the shoe. So that's what we want to do, is cut it inward, okay? And we're going to go all the way around as far as we can reach. And you're just going to scoop that out. Same thing up here. It's going to be a little tight up here, so you need a knife that's going to be a little bit get rid of that. A little bit pointy so you can get up there. Just going to round off the bottom a little bit of the shoe. And up here I'm going to just keep going a little bit further. Okay, I'm going to clean that up. Just like so. Gotta make it round. Now on the back portion of here, we're going to continue on until here. And it goes back up a little bit. See how it goes up here a little bit? Go back up again. Okay? We're just going to scoop that out. Just like so. I'm going to clean it up here at the top a little bit. You can trim that off if you want. You don't have to. You won't be able to see it when it's sitting upright. You know, when you have it sitting around. That's your choice if you want to clean off that bandsaw mark. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends. Okay. So what I want you to do is kind of meet it in the center there. Now you're going to go a little further down there and see how we have that cleaned up. Alright, we're just going to keep doing her legs here a little bit into the shoe. We're going to make this a little bit tinier and go up a little bit further. Just like so. Now I did it across the bottom. You don't need to do that. I just decided to do it that way. Okay, so let's go to the front here, and we're going to push our knife in both corners there, and we're just going to scoop some of that out. Try not to scrape your knife like I just did. That will dull your knife, but there are occasions where you're going to have to do that to get things out of places, like a tight spot like I'm doing now. Don't know if I had so many tight spots like this before with all the carvings that I've done on YouTube. You always run into something a little bit different when you do a project, which is good. It teaches you new things. And okay, so that's how we want the foot to be, alright, and the leg to be. Now if you want to give her some socks, you can. All you need to do, and I'll be back to show you how to do that and how to finish up the shoe.